Hello everyone, in this video we'll learn more about the gut-brain axis. You may be familiar with the statement I feel it in my gut or gut feeling, which refers to the gut-brain axis. It makes a lot more sense than you might imagine. For millennia, we have been captivated by how the gut and the brain communicate because our brain and gut are linked. When we say we feel butterflies or something is gut-wrenching, we are communicating with our gut. The gastrointestinal nervous system is extremely active and vital. This is frequently referred to as second brain. The gut-brain axis, as scientists describe it, is a link between the gut and the brain. It is a two-way conversation between the two organs. The vagus nerve is a vital link between the gut and the brain. It is the second largest nerve in the body after the spinal cord, and it allows your brain and the gut to communicate with each other. The vagus nerve carries 80 to 90% of nerve fibers from the gut to the brain. What role of gut play in the gut-brain axis? More than 90% of the serotonin in your body is produced by the bacteria in your gut. And this neurotransmitter has the ability to influence your mood as well as your feeling of happiness and pleasure. A gut feeling is a term used to describe an immediate reaction to something that you just know. Recent research is beginning to reveal a crucial relationship between the stomach and the brain, which can affect everything from mood and behavior to health and immunity. Let's delve deeper and offer you some food for thought about how the concept of little brain comes from the enteric nervous system and its role in connecting the gut and the brain. The gut-brain axis is a relationship that occurs in both directions and is referred to by scientists as the gut-brain axis. It comprises around 100 million neurons and embeds itself within the gut wall. Early research focused on how digestive function and the feeling of being full occurs through the complex interactions between the nerve hormones, proteins, and the hypothalamus, an area of the brain that acts as a control center of appetite, among other things. Adding to the complication, decades of research have identified trillions of gut microbes as controllers of gut-brain axis. And scientists have recently learned how the human body supports different colonies and ecosystems of specialized microorganisms, including the bacteria. Let's take a look at the concept of homeostasis, which states that the body is made up of various systems and that all require stability and balance because the body is a dynamic structure with continually changing internal environment. We don't operate in a static manner. Instead, we have feedback loops that monitor and respond to any changes that must be controlled. To give you some instances, we regulate our body temperature by shivering or sweating, and we control our blood acidity with the help of several organs such as lungs, kidney, and brain. If something goes wrong and the equilibrium is disrupted, we can get seriously ill. And any disturbances in your gut microbiome disturbs your usual equilibrium and increase your risk of disease such as inflammatory bowel diseases, type 2 diabetes, anxiety and depression. But actually, how does the brain interact with the gut? The autonomic nervous system is a portion of your peripheral nervous system which is located outside of the brain and spinal cord. The neurons of the autonomic nervous system work together to govern body activities that you execute without realizing it. Things like breathing, digestion, and the way your heart beats are all part of a huge system. We can further divide them into two branches termed the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. In general, parasympathetic nervous system is in charge of rest and digestion, such as keeping your heart rate low and getting your gut moving, whereas your sympathetic system is in charge of fight or flight, which includes raising your blood pressure, increasing your heart rate, and preparing your muscles to move. The enteric nervous system in your gut is a subdivision of autonomic nervous system, which explains why you may experience pain and discomfort in your gut, and why the sight and smell of food which make you salivate. For example, all of these systems work together to maintain homeostasis and respond quickly to input such as pain and stress in both health and disease. An important nerve, the 10th cranial nerve or the vagus nerve, arises from the brain and is the most direct route linking the gut and the brain. It is largely composed of nerves that flow from the gut to the brain. They are referred to as sensing or input neurons. It also contains motor or output neurons, which are nerves that move in opposite direction from the brain to the gut. They may be able to sense strain and tension in the intestinal wall, as well as the gut hormones and chemical signals released by microorganisms within the gut, which is depend on the location of input or sensing nerves. And this is how the brain receives some of the information from the intestine and can explain why you feel hunger, fullness, nauseated or pain. And these inputs also regulate how you feel by overlapping with emotional states. The reduced parasympathetic activity of vagus nerve is linked to an aberrant expansion and the relocation of bacteria, which is normally found in the small intestine. I hope you have learned a thing about gut-brain axis. Thank you.